Oh my god, what a mess. You know, having gear option sometimes allows you to have the expression possibility, especially lenses. If you change the lens, also the world you see changes. But sometimes having too many gears slows you down. You know, I am a half Lumix user and I love using, 18, 50, and 35 and 85, prime lenses. But sometimes I want to go easy. Want to go with only one lens, especially when I travel and I go outside for not mainly shooting. You know what I mean? And recently, some zoom lens is working really well for my situation, for my shooting environment, which is this Lumix 28-200mm. Today, let's talk about that. Yeah, that was intro for this video, which is most casual opener in this channel. But sometimes let's be casual and have a nice conversation with me, huh? So the reason why I'm using this 28-200mm lens is of course the focal length. So 28-200mm. 28mm is not super wide, but it's enough for vlogging, landscape, and cityscape where you wanna capture a lot of information in a frame. And not being super wide is actually great for video. You know, I love 18mm, but sometimes it looks weirdly wide, especially when you want to capture the moment cinematic and natural. 18mm is so handy, but it has that con. But 28 is a very close to the natural perspective with a wide view. So it is actually super versatile when you think about that. And don't forget, this goes up to 200mm, which is legit to the photo. Although the aperture also goes up to f7.1, it can produce the bokeh and a little bit of compression feel like this. I sometimes use a 100mm f2.8. So compared to that, it feels it's not perfect and it's not enough for some situations, but it does a decent job for the daily based use. So I was gonna talk about the image quality next, but let me talk about the build quality first, because this is also one of huge pros of using this lens. So 28-200mm, but this size. You know, there is like a 20-60mm, this lens, but it is not almost, it is pretty much same size. This one is 20-60 and this one is 28-200mm. And the weight is, it's a little heavier, 28-200, but it's, almost same. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know if you guys remember that I went to Osaka for, Lumix Global Summit, the launch event of Lumix S9 a few months ago. And I was moving from places to places, like from, Osaka to Kyoto, and Kyoto to Osaka, and Osaka to Tokyo, Tokyo to Yamanashi. While that trip, I was using this 28-200mm on S9 and S5IIX, but it didn't bother me at all. Usually, I don't get to want to bring that telephoto zoom lens in that scenario, but when it comes to this lens, I am forced to change my mind. Because this is even smaller and lighter than, usual 24-70mm zoom lens. Of course, this had a slower aperture, but still. Come on, you can vlog and also shoot for subjects, and you can turn on the cinematic switch with this, but this size again. If I have to choose the only one lens, I will definitely pick this up. So, about the image quality, it is pretty much normal. I mean, not more than you expect, but not less than you expect. So this type of super versatile zoom lens seems to have a not good image quality in general, but this doesn't have an obvious weakness. I mean, it's pretty good. Although it doesn't have a crazy sharpness, but this has more than we usually need. It doesn't have a weird vignette and fringe, and I don't feel the image is cheap. I mean, in a good way, it's not more and less than the price. Well, if you consider what you get in total, like this size, weight, image quality, it can be more than the money you pay. You can have super versatility, but also this optic performance. It's enough. So I guess this could be a huge problem, huge reason not to get this lens, bokeh. When it's 200mm, the aperture is gonna be f7.1. I know you don't want to hear this number, 7.1. Come on. So right now I came to this spot to shoot the thumbnail of S5IIX versus GH7 by this 28-200mm. So the picture you saw, the me in the middle of road, grabbing both of S5IIX and GH7 was shot on S9 and 28-200mm. So right, as you can just see, there is a little bit of, compression feel, the tight telephoto vibe, right? So yeah, slow aperture is not a big deal when it comes to that type of like a telephoto image. There's a bokeh, right? Yeah, f4.9, and the distance me and the lens is just like this, one arm, but it has this bokeh. Isn't it enough? Come on. And if you go up to like 200mm, and I gotta step back, but there is this much of bokeh. I think I got a good thumbnail. Oh my god, you can vlog and you can shoot landscape. Also you can shoot thumbnail. Wow, this lens is on fire. Absolutely, this is my favorite go-to versatile lens right now. But look at this. After seeing this, you still want to kick his ass? Come on, it got a legit bokeh. It's 200mm, so the background will be blurred like this anyway, even though it's f7.1. Come on, f7.1 is really hard to say. When it's 28mm, the aperture is f4, so it's a little difficult to produce a big amount of bokeh with that, but do you need it when that? For me, I don't. I want to use 28mm for capturing focusing on all. So with that being said, this slow aperture is not a big deal. Also, this has 14cm minimum focus distance, which allows you to zoom in the subject this close. And this is 28mm right now. So yeah, even when it's 28mm, you can produce the tight, separated feel image if you zoom in this much. So this lens is also capable of capturing the detail. What a versatile beast. So last thing I'm gonna talk about is autofocus and image stabilization. So the autofocus is of course fantastic. Come on, this is a genuine Panasonic lens which can bring the maximum autofocus potential out from the camera. So when it's 28mm, there's not a huge focus gap between the subject and the background, and it's f4, so of course it's super quick. But I think focus motion is very natural. Autofocus tracking is working super well too, no problem. This is 200mm with f7.1. OMG. There's a huge bokeh. The background is almost melting, but this is super fast. And not only fast, it is accurate. When the subject moves, it doesn't get lost. It keeps tracking the face. If you do the quick camera move, it can catch up with that speed. Focus transition is super fast, but not weird. It's natural. So this got I.S. on the lens, O.I.S. on and off. See? Which allows you to have I.S. even though your camera doesn't have IBIS. When it comes to Lumix, S9, S5IIX. Right now this is S9, but I don't even have to use electronic IS high mode. Right now, standard and 28mm, and just walking, now without a gimbal. Come on, so stabilized, isn't it? But anyway, this was shot on Lumix S9, which has the #1 IBIS performance in the market right now. So yeah, it doesn't matter that much. Of course, it's damn good. Walking is fine, running is fine, and the panning on 200mm is also fine. This is crazy. One of the huge cons of telephoto zoom lens is the shake. But this IS performance reduces it so hard and there's almost no shake. It can give you the amazingly smooth panning shot on 200mm. By the way, this is just normal IS, not even electronic IS. Crazy Lumix. But on the other hand, I felt a little more shaky when it's 28mm compared to other lenses like a 24 prime or 20-60mm. I don't know, that's just because of the focal length or the lens performance. If there is someone who uses this lens, just please let me know what you think about that. Okay, this is it. So now I love this lens more than before I review this lens. I gotta admit, this doesn't have a super good image quality, but that's a super small thing when it comes to this lens. More than that, this got a crazy versatility. The weight, size, focal length, and the lens performance such as autofocus and image stabilization. You can get all of those by $900. And this compact body. I wouldn't say this is a perfect choice for your first Lumix lens, but this is a great option for your second go-to travel lens. Speaking of the first lens choice, what about this? Oh no, it's not a telephoto zoom lens. It is a 28-45mm Sigma lens. OMG. でかすぎだろこれ。ちょっと待って、これ笑っちゃうんだよな。マジでこれ最初に 見た時にマジで笑った。嘘だろっていう。いやこれは俺がルミックスの S シリーズのレンズに慣れすぎてるかもしんない。これが2060じゃん。なんだよこのバカでけえレンズは。タムロンの50-300よりちょっとなんかでかいし重い。まあ F1.8 ってのはあるけどでかすぎやろ。But Sigma Art Lens F1.8 lens. Stay tuned for that video. One caution regarding the versatile zoom lens. This is all-in-one lens, so you can have many things at once easily. The creativity, which can be got easily. Is it real? Is it capable of hitting the crux of the phenomenon in this world? Be careful about how and when you use this lens. Do not go easy all the time. Okay, this is it. If you have any question, just shoot me anytime, anywhere. And if you like this video, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.